you as a parent do that, and you think that you're being the new modern enlightened parent, you know, by saying my kid's going to drink, I wanted to do it here, or it's okay because I collect their keys. If you think that's being the modern enlightened parent, it's not. It's abdicating your responsibility to be a parent, and it's a crime. And it's taking the easy way out of being a parent. It's trying to be their friend instead of be their parent, and it's a dereliction of your duty as a parent, and it's a crime. And I couldn't even, I don't have the time to enumerate all the negative things I've seen come about as a result of that. But I see that one violated more often than I ever did now. And one of the other aspects of the law to do with drinking that teenagers, this probably never occurs to them until it happens, that having alcohol in your system while driving a car when you're underage is a violation of the vehicle code, correct, Judge? In any section of the vehicle code that you violate, if you're driving down the road violating that section and you have a traffic accident and a person loses their life as a result of that accident, be it in the other car, be it in your own car, be it your own passenger. Now, that's no longer a traffic violation, that's no longer underage drinking, that's homicide. And teenagers don't look ahead enough, and teenagers don't realize that that couple beers can now land you in prison for homicide. Something that I would like to put out there. I like to put out there to them as often as I can. As far as the laws go, these gentlemen hit that pretty well, but I see the one I see being violated more and more is the modern enlightened parent and the ignorance and unawareness of homicide.
Let me talk just what, at least my perception of the effectiveness of the laws are, and I don't think that the laws are particularly effective, simply in the fact that most people that underage drink never get in any trouble whatsoever. I mean, there's no perception among kids that they're going to be caught. I mean, when, people say, why would you do something and risk that? Well, no one ever thinks, as they said, they don't think about the consequences, but they never think they're going to be caught with that. I occasionally teach a juvenile delinquency class at Williamsburg University, and one of the things that we talk about in there is arrest data. And arrest data, the people that we deal with, that get on probation, that the police typically see, we see the boneheads. It's almost like the ones we capture, the ones that are out there, hey, look at me. And if people perceive that we're out there snooping around all the time, and we aren't thinking about all these people. It's only the ones that because they're being disruptive or doing something that makes us pay attention to them that we see them. One of the things in my juvenile delinquency class that we do at the very beginning is I want to show how common delinquent type behaviors are in people, but there's no arrest with it. So I do a little survey in the class, and everybody anonymously fills out an information sheet, and it says, have you ever been arrested? And in my class, the classes I've taught, no one's ever, I think I have one arrest in there actually. Have you ever been underage drinking? 100% yes. Have you ever used illegal drugs? About 2/3 yes. And you go on and on and on. Many of these behaviors that kids do, they just simply don't get caught. So I mean, we can make the laws much tougher, and they're and those laws help us in dealing with the boneheads. But for the vast majority of kids, they're going to do this behavior, and they're going to do it over and over and over. And they're probably, and unless they're doing something very disruptive, they're probably not going to come to our attention. And that doesn't mean that this isn't leading to alcoholism, this isn't leading to further drug abuse, this isn't leading to date rape, this isn't leading to other problems that are eventually, going to have causing problems as a juvenile, as a young adult or an older adult. It's just that there is an inherent difficulty with penalties in being effective with the majority of people.
Folks, that leads us to the last question, which that was a great transition. What are the solutions to underage drinking in Greene County? Drew, do you mind kicking off? What are some of the solutions that you have in mind for underage drinking?
I go to schools a lot. I talk to teenagers a lot. I I talk to them in community groups. I talk to them every chance I get. Some of you might have heard me speak. Some of you, I might have spoken to your children. But if you communicate with teenagers, this is what I try to do. I try to challenge them, and I try to give them some reality about the future of being a drinker. I challenge them in saying, do you want to be a doer of things or a barstool talker? And they don't know what I mean by a barstool talker, but some of you probably do. I tell teenagers that in my life experience, people who spend their time sitting on bar stools are usually full of a whole lot of big talk and very little else. And I tell teenagers that their future in being a drinker is, you see in the media and you hear from people that bars are happy, glamorous places full of good times and partying and that. However, the reality of what bars really are they're dark, dirty dungeons full of dysfunctional people telling each other exaggerations and lies about what they used to be and what they could have been. And if you go to any bar tonight, you can find groups of men in their 30s buying each other beer, talking about the wonder and the glory of high school football. Man, weren't we great? You know, and I tell teenagers, is that what you want to be? Do you want to be a barstool talker, or do you want to be a doer of things? People who sit on bar stools talk. They talk about what they used to be. They talk about what they might have been. If I weren't here now, I might have been this. Right? And I challenge them, go do something. Instead of talking about things, instead of having a future as a talker of what you could have done, go do the things. Learn to play a musical instrument. Learn to speak a foreign language. Fix up an old car. Climb a mountain. Train for a bodybuilding contest. Do something. Go out and do something. The weakest, most pathetic excuse I hear for why I drink is there's nothing else to do. If you came to me, I could fill up your time. I could fill up every waking moment with something to do if you just came and asked me. Hey, there's nothing else to do in Greene County, so I'm going to drink. And I'll still be doing it when I'm 33. I'll still be sitting on the bar stool. And I try to, when I talk to them, I try to make that sound as absurd as I can. And I try to make it sound as weak and pathetic and as undesirable as I possibly can. And every once in a while, I can see that I'm getting through to some of them. I mean, a lot of them I'm not, but I can see that some of them, I can see some people's heads nodding out there when I'm talking to groups of teenagers going, maybe I should go do something. And when I ridicule that barstool talker like I have here, teenagers don't want to be what is ridiculed or what is made fun of. They want to be what's hip and what's cool. And I make it sound like a way more desirable thing to be a doer of stuff than to be a barstool talker. And in my experience with talking to teenagers, I personally believe that's the most effective tactic I've come up with up until now.
There's, I guess I'm pessimistic here. I don't think there is a solution to underage drinking per se. I think it's going to go on and on. We can only try to deal with it as best we can. I look at it as what buttons can we push that would be effective in getting through to people who are at risk. Young people like their cars. Worst drivers in the world are young people. That's the second worst. The worst drivers are young people who have been drinking. You look at your insurance rates, not till you're 25 do they change or start coming down, because insurance companies are out to make money. They realize that the worst drivers are the underage drinkers, are the underage drivers under 25. You throw alcohol in the problem, an inexperienced driver who's down under the influence of alcohol, and he's going to, he's the worst nightmare out there. Now, if you throw in there that your car may be taken away from you because of your drinking, if your insurance rates are going to go up markedly because you've been